Class is in session. The Brofessor is in. What's happening, y'all? We have Wendi Richter boss battle heading our way. And so we are going to try to go over our top 4 or 5 or 6, as we usually do, heading into one of the very first, I believe this is our second female boss battle. So we are going to try to break down who's going to be our best. We're going to take a couple of assumptions, but we'll get to that in a second. So let's bro. First things first, we have to make one assumption. Then that assumption is that 6-star silver will be the level 23. And I assume that Scope is going to do that. We don't have any confirmation of it yet. If this is the case, then you're obviously going to need a 6-star silver to max everything out. And that we are going to have somewhere in the ballpark of 1 billion health. So that's where I'm sort of basing the damages that you're going to do and whom's going to be the best female for you to use to defeat this Wendi Richter Rockin' Hall of Famer. So we're in the top 4 or 5. These are people that are going to do the most damage in each category. That's usually how we try to do this. And then what we worry about in the bargain bin video, so make sure you check back in another day or so for the bargain bin, where we'll discuss how you can help your team not only do some damage, maybe not the most damage out there, but that you're going to help with the boss breakers to defeat some of the boss abilities. So what are we looking for this time around? We are looking for black gem damage is 1,000% more, yellow gem damage 1,000% more. We get 2250%, 2,250 or 2,250% more for countdown gems, and then another 2250% for botch gems. So those are the categories that we're going to look at, and whom amongst these women will be the best in each one. So the top woman that I think in the focus category is actually going to be Cora Jade. And the reason that I say this is that Cora Jade makes a lot of one-turn countdown gems. Now they do become purple gems, so it's not one of the 2 colors that we're looking at once they go off. But this is where I think she's going to be the most effective, is that she is going to give you bonus damage for every countdown gem. So that's where she's going to get her the majority of her damage from. And you're also going to, if you play it with the European uppercut, you'll be able to reload rather easily. I don't think anything else here is going to be what we're looking for, especially because everything else is purples and subs, right? So I think Cora Jade's probably going to be the best in your focused category. Heading over now to the chaotic category, there's 2 here that I think that are going to be really well played. And the first one is actually going to be Shotzi. I think Shotzi is going to do really well because of the yellow damage and the multiplied damage. But this is also a caveat if you have a couple of other things to make her amazing. One is having the basic Nightmare Insignia, which is going to make 100% more damage whenever we're making multiplied gems. And if you were lucky enough to get the 100% gem damage strap that she has, she's going to hit really hard. She makes a large number into yellow gems, and she also makes a bunch of multiplies that are really beefy at ×10. So I think that's where she's going to be the most effective. None of her other movesets, I don't think. So that's where I think she's going to be really good. And I think the other one in this category that might be really good is going to be JD Rhea Ripley. And now, this, of course, depends on having her... where is it? She has, there she goes. So she has a damage per countdown gem move, and it's not as big and beefy as we just saw with Cora Jade, but it is something that can work. She does make a bunch of countdown gems. They turn into leech gems, but not in the colors that we need, which is why I don't think she's going to be the best in this category. That's why I think Shotzi might actually be better. And so if we move over now to the aggressive category, here's where we have a couple of really interesting ones that we can also use. If you have China with the moment, again, this is another one of those builds that if you have all the pieces, it makes sense. So DX Hall of Fame, adding extra multiply damage, running it the black move set, running it with a drip plate. So you make a lot of black gems with multiplies on them. I think this is where you can do a lot more damage. And if you do have both of her gears, that is the other big part of that equation where I think China is going to be very powerful. But it actually might be someone that is free to play that most, if not all, people in the game should have, is someone like Dakota Kai, who does make a lot of botch gems and has a botch gem damage move. So I think that might be another place to person to think about with a sub that also does that. You can also put in, let me see if there's, you can maybe even run this a tricolor as well too, right? You might actually be able to put in the bicycle kick so you can get a little bit more extra damage, but then you'd have a hard time recycling it this way, which is where the sub actually recycles. Maybe that's the better play for Dakota Kai. So I think Dakota Kai is an interesting selection at this location as well too. There's a few other ones that will be I think interesting to use, but I do think that these two are going to be the best in this category. But aggressive, I think, has a lot of options, and we'll get into those options when we hit the bargain bin video. So do be sure to check out the bargain bin video coming soon for that. Last but not least, if we go into the defensive category, I think our best bet is actually going to be Zombie Liv Morgan, Livin' Dead. I think her move set, I think it's the triple red, so she's going to get bonus for each and every botch gem, which is one thing that we are looking for. She's going to make random gems into yellow and lots of them as well too. She has, so you can run the Sunset Rider, making a lot of botch gems, and then there is the 10 paces. There's the 6-star move, which increases your yellow gem damage as well. So yellow gems, botch gems, those are two of the kinds that we want, plus a bonus gem damage for botch gems. So Liv Morgan, I think, is going to be the last one of our top 4, 5, 6, or 7. I forget how many we have so far, but I think these are going to be our top superstars for this boss battle. Let me know what you think in the comments, or if you think that you have somebody that might not be as good as these women, but might be contenders for the bargain bin. If you put it in there quick enough, I might actually add it into the bargain bin video itself. So yeah, definitely give me your suggestions as well, especially if you think there's someone that might be better than what I've put here. Otherwise, thanks for coming to class today. I hope you have a good luck with this boss battle. And as always, give it the old like, the share, the subscribe, and let the bro know that what he's doing is not only appreciated, but is helping you out with the game. Again, thanks for coming to class. Brofessor out.